So the last question in our lesson on calculating slope is the following. It says calculate the slope of a line that has an x-intercept of 4 and a y-intercept of -12. So we've been calculating slope from a point, and we said that there was a formula. So m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And in order to use this formula, I need to have 2 points. And right now, I sort of do and I sort of don't. So it tells me in the question that I have an x-intercept of 4 and a y-intercept of -12, but those aren't proper points. A proper point should have an x and a y part to them. So I am just going to draw off to the side here a little picture just to help me figure out what the coordinates of these points are. So an x-intercept of 4 means on the x-axis at 4, there is a point. So this point is actually the point 4, and the y part would be 0. So this is really the point 4 and 0. That's the x-intercept. And then for the y-intercept, if it has a y-intercept of -12, that means down here on the y-axis at -12, there's a point. This would have an x value of 0 and then a y value of -12. So if a question gives you the x-intercept, that means it's the x value, and because it's on the x-axis, the y will always be 0. And if it gives you the y-intercept, that is the y part of the point, and then because it's on the y-axis, the x part will always be 0. Okay, so I'm just going to take a moment and label. Every point has an x and a y, and then we get to choose whether we want to let this be point 1 and this be point 2, or whether we want to do it the other way around. I think I'm going to let this be 1 and this one be 2. It really doesn't matter. So I'm going to sub in y2, that's -12, minus y1, that's 0, over x2, that's 0, minus x1, that's 4. Okay, -12 take away 0, it's just -12. And if you're having trouble doing those calculations, just use your calculator. And 0 take away 4 is -4. Now, I could leave it like that, but I would like to try to reduce or simplify it if I can. A negative divided by a negative makes a positive. So this is going to be positive. If you want to put a plus, you can. You don't really need to. And then 12 divided by 4, I could reduce that, but does 12 divide nicely by 4? Yes, it does. 12 divided by 4 is actually 3. So my slope here is just 3, or +3 if you want to put the positive in, but the slope is just 3. Okay, so now it's your turn to go do some practice, and if you have any questions, you can always email me.